I'm combining two of my great loves tonight. I am going to make some pizza dough while I fill you in on a little bit of conversation that's been a big part of my day today. So I have been talking to all of my business coaching clients today, and a lot of the topic ended up being around using social media and trying to bring your authentic self to social media so that your clientele can get to know, like, and trust you. And we got into this great discussion around what does authentic mean? Because it's a word, it's a buzzword, and it's overused. Really, it's overused. And so what I often find is people think that authenticity is a mask they have to put on, and authenticity is something that you have to try to become or try to be. And I think what's really important is that you remember authenticity is how you are when you're at home with your family. That's you being your authentic self. So, what better way than while I make some pizza with, check this out, that's my sourdough starter. It has just bubbled all the way up to the top of this jar today. How good is that, right? This is authenticity. This is just me talking to you because I've got some bar stools just there and you are sitting at my bar stool and we're having a chat about authenticity. So one of the things that people often forget is that their audience on social media ain't stupid. So when we pretend or when we try to be something that we're not, or when we try to mask how we're really feeling, people can tell. So you might be anxious to get yourself on social media and to try and share your thoughts with people on the interwebs, and that's okay. If you're anxious, say so. Guess what? This is my first ever live stream and I'm so nervous, but I'm really excited to bring to you the message about my business and how we're serving our community during lockdown. Easy, right? You can share that level of vulnerability and authenticity. You can stumble over your words. You can you lose your thought, fluff your words, swear if it accidentally falls out of your mouth. It doesn't matter. Because if you were sitting here at my kitchen counter and we were having this conversation together, I would fluff my words sometimes. I would say, oh, what I meant to say was, or oh, I've lost my train of thought, or I can't find the word I'm looking for. That stuff happens. That's an authentic conversation, right? Now just to let you know what I'm doing, about 250 grams, oopsie, a bit too much, of my pizza. This is not a recipe, I made this up. This is my sourdough starter, and I'm gonna chuck in a whole bunch of flour and some salt, and I'm gonna make my own pizza dough. And I'm sorry if you're Italian and you know how to do it properly. This is my quick and easy way to make a thin pizza crust for my kids who really like it, and that's all that matters, right? So what I want you thinking about with regards authenticity in your social media presence is be comfortable in your own skin. Now, you don't have to be perfect because there's no such thing, right? You just need to be present. You just need to be visible, because that's how we get to know you, and that's how we get to decide. We get to decide if we like you or not. You wouldn't be sitting here at my kitchen counter with me if I didn't already like you, right? And you wouldn't be sitting here at my kitchen counter with me if you didn't already like me. So we only get to know and decide whether or not we like each other through familiarity. So if you're new to social media and you really want to take advantage of the opportunity to connect with your community, you have to show up consistently. You have to keep going. You have to keep doing it. And you might not feel comfortable to start with. I didn't. I hate watching my early live videos because I felt like I was all buttoned up and I was sitting neatly. I was sitting up straight like I used to when I was at school, trying to get an early minute, trying to be all proper and say all the right words. And the videos look fine to a casual observer, but I know when I look at them how anxious and nervous I was. I was really nervous. I don't get so nervous now because I feel like you're sitting right there on the other side of the camera at my kitchen counter and we're having a chat. So Familiarity. Everything is difficult until it's not difficult anymore. Everything is hard until it's not hard anymore, or scary until it's not scary anymore. We get to overcome the anxiety by doing. That's a really basic psychological principle. We confront anxiety, we do things, we challenge ourselves, even if they're scary, and sometimes especially if they're scary, because what we do then is we habituate ourselves. We get used to it, in other words, and it stops being so scary. So I want you to start showing up. I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to be brave enough to overcome your own fears and anxieties. Put your face on social media, because you are the face of your business. That's how we get to know if we like your business. That's how we get to know if we like and trust you enough to spend money with your business. And don't think that we all think you're just showing up to make money. I don't think that. I think I am super excited when I see local businesses in my community show up online, and I get to follow what they're doing. I get to see how they're overcoming social distancing, how they're overcoming lockdown, how they're getting innovative. I'm so excited by the things I see, and I love nothing more than to follow their story. And when they include me in their story, it makes me feel connected to them. It makes me feel like I'm part of their little village, right? Whether I am or I'm not. Don't worry about numbers. Don't worry about followers. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about all of that stuff. Worry about consistency. Worry about showing up consistently, because you will have multiple people who will follow you without you ever knowing that they are there. I watch lots of videos. Sometimes I have to consciously remind myself to like them or comment on them, but I'm absorbing them and I'm seeing them and I'm watching them, and they're influencing my thinking. So don't be distracted by likes, follows, shares, all that sort of stuff. That's not your mission. If you just want people to like you, go and stand on the street corner and hand out chocolate. Why not? But it's not a meaningful like, is it? So what you want is you want people to engage with you, and that's with you showing up regularly, connecting. Now, they may engage invisibly, which means they're not actively liking and commenting, but they may feel connected to you just like I feel connected to my local businesses. And when I want to spend money on a dinner, I spend it with my local businesses that I feel connected with. They're my first port of call, because they're front of mind, because they're showing up consistently. You've got to show up consistently too. Bear with me, I've got to get the flour. So when you show up consistently, what you're doing is you're doing two things, really. First of all, you're becoming familiar. You're becoming a familiar presence and a familiar voice, and you get to be a trusted voice as well. And then you're also getting used to doing it, so you stop being so nervous. It stops being so difficult. So if you are showing up consistently as yourself, doing your thing, talking the stuff that you're passionate about, not pretending to be something else, not trying to be what you think someone should look like when they're on social media, your business will flourish when people feel connected to you. Not connected to what you think is the ideal version of you, sitting up nice and straight waiting for an early minute. Nobody connects to that, because you're not connected to that, and you're not connecting to the person sitting on the other side of the bench. I'm really hoping this makes sense. So what I want you to do is, I want you to start thinking, if I can make pizza while I'm talking to you in my kitchen as if we're just face to face, what opportunities have you got to sit down on your front step with a cup of coffee and have a chat with me? Pretend it's me if you want to. I don't care who you think you're talking to, but imagine somebody who you really like and trust, and somebody who you know is really interested in what you've got to say, and imagine that that's who you're talking to. And you will talk a bit more like this. If you feel like you're talking to your best friend who's really cheering for you, or if you feel like you're talking to me who absolutely is cheering for you, or if you feel like you're talking to your favorite client who's interested in what you've got to say, you will come across as more connected too. So you're actually in a bit of luck, because I have given these tips to my coaching clients today, and I really wanted to sort of, I guess, expand on the message and make sure that we're clear in what we mean when we talk about authenticity. Authenticity isn't a product. It isn't a hat you put on. It's you without all the bullshit. It's what Brene Brown talks about when she says, drop your armor and be vulnerable. That's the real you. Talking as if I'm sitting next to you having a cup of tea or making pizza. So, sorry, I shouldn't wave a wooden spoon at you. What I want you to do is remember that, be brave, because I know it takes courage to get out there when you're not used to it. I know it takes courage to get over yourself, get over your own fears, because these are all just stories that you're telling yourself. Get over all of that nonsense. Just be the face of your business. Be the face of your mission. Be the face of your message. I often say that, in my opinion, because I'm a mental health professional, in my opinion, it's my profession's responsibility to be on social media so we can debunk what mental health professionals look like. You know, we're just people, just like everybody else. And in so doing that, we're helping to break down the barriers to help-seeking behaviour in our community. You might be in a different profession. And what is your profession's mission? How do you help the community? If you're a hairdresser, you help people feel good about themselves. You feel, perhaps, that people expect you to look a certain way as a hairdresser. But I tell you what is really meaningful is if you are in the hair or the fashion or the beauty industry and you show up looking like a normal human being who struggles to get their hair to do what you want, who struggles to get their nails to stop breaking, and all of the same things that the rest of us struggle with, you'll earn far more points with your community than by trying to be the embodiment of perfection that nobody can aspire to. Well, maybe we aspire to it, but we won't get there because there's no such thing as perfect, right? So, bottom line, you are good enough as you are. You are perfect as you are. You are interesting, you're engaging, you're funny, you're smart, you're experienced, you're talented. You've got all of that already going for you. All you have to do is let us in. Let us know you're there. Share your thoughts with us and we'll support you. Have a lovely night. I'm going to now go and mix this concoction into pizzas. Bye for now.